Every life tells a story. Join Frank Julian as he shares his one chapter at a time from Story of a Soul 2, releasing every Wednesday.
The Story of a Soul 2 by Frank Julian with Sean O'Neill, narrated by Frank Julian. Chapter 6, High School, Where Purity and Peace Prevail. Mrs. McFarland, my forensics teacher, began to coach me and explain the rules of the competitive tournaments that we would enter. I was a sponge and took it all in. The rules were that I had to memorize the story and could only use expression. No acting was allowed, and it had to be between 5 and 8 minutes in length. At my first tournament, I took third place in my category. Our team went on to a lot of tournaments. My favorite memory for these events took place at Ann Arbor Pioneer High School. There were about 110 kids in the storytelling category. It began with 3 rounds during which I had to tell my story. I prayed all the way. We were each given a number, and if your number appeared on the board for the semifinals, then that meant you went on to the next round. My number was on the board, and so I proceeded and made it to the final round. I will never forget that final round. Classmates who didn't make it into the finals came to hear the storytellers. Kids from other schools came. Storytelling was such a draw because it was entertaining. Learning how to tell the same story is a lot like preaching. Keeping it fresh is a gift. And you have probably figured out by now something very special happened on that day during the spring of my senior year, and I thank God for it. Ferdinand has been with me the rest of my life. I have told the story to school-aged children and to so many others over the years. Ferdinand would not fight and be mean no matter what they did to him. He just kept smelling the flowers. He was a lover, not a fighter. That really is who I am. Let the others butt their heads together fruitlessly. I'm going to go off and be peaceful with Jesus in my prayer time under my favorite oak tree, like Ferdinand did. Returning, though, to that afternoon at Pioneer High School, the auditorium was filled to capacity. Excitement was in the air, and everyone could feel it. They began to call the winners up for each category, starting with third place. Then they came to the storytelling category. I had butterflies in my stomach. I knew that I had done well, but you never know how the judges felt about the details of your delivery. After the third and second places were called, and I wasn't one of them, I knew that it was either first place or nothing. Then I heard it. And in first place, from Dearborn Edsel Ford High School, Frank Julian. I ran down there like I had won the Academy Award. I was so happy and thankful to God.
Thank you for listening. Join Frank Julian every Wednesday for a new chapter of Story of a Soul 2. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter.